guys, the Fire Brothers here. It's just me. My brother couldn't be here today because he's having a trade offer with RC. She receives him, and he receives 15 feet robot girlfriend that can turn into a motorcycle. Honestly, that sounds like a good deal. How the frick is that an insult? Anyways, these are the jokes. Hopefully you're enjoying them. A bunch of people got mad at me yesterday because I didn't do a my brother couldn't be here today joke, but mate, have you seen how long that video was? I don't want to hear it. Anyways, today's video will hopefully be a whole lot shorter because we have some Transformers movie news. And not just any Transformers movie news, we have some news for the next movie after Rise of the Beast. So briefly I'm going to talk about Rise of the Beast, some stuff that I didn't mention on my trailer breakdown, which you should totally go and check it out. This is going to be short. First of all is the fact that when Bumblebee jumps off Stratosphere, you can see that he doesn't have his Autobot insignia. It's very clearly missing. Meaning that the Autobot insignia that we see Scourge have in Peru, you know, the very silver one, it's probably Bumblebee's insignia. We already kind of knew this or suspected this because of context clues, but it's nice to have confirmation of it. And second of all is that after much analyzing this scene, people managed to deduce that these Terracons actually already have their vehicle modes scanned. These are not their protoform looks like Dropkick and Shadow had in the BB movie. Which is very weird and it's an inconsistency, but someone on Discord messaged me earlier today, just as I was recording this video, and pointed out that in the scene where we see New York for the first time, we get a text saying it's 1994. If you look under the bridge, there's 3 lights, which supposedly maybe are the Terracons. We do know they land on water, so maybe they'll hang around in the water for a bit. They will, you know, see the vehicles pass by and then scan them, and that's how they get their vehicle modes. Honestly, that's not a bad theory. I actually kind of agree with it. It's actually a very good observation I didn't make in the trailer itself. Because there's 3 lights, there's 3 Terracons, and they're 3 supposedly underwater. Because these don't look like ships to me. So yeah, thank you whoever pointed it out. That's actually a really good observation. But anyways, that's enough for Rise of the Beast. It's time we talk about Transformers 1. Yes, that's the title of our next Transformers movie that we're going to be getting next year, 2024. As soon as Rise of the Beast ends, we're not going to have to, you know, be waiting over a year or even longer for the next Transformers movie. The next Transformers movie hype train starts immediately after Rise of the Beast. Now, Transformers 1 seems to be a prequel. It's going to be set on Cybertron. In this video, I'm going to talk about the latest news we got today, along with some of the news I didn't cover earlier in the week, because, you know, I was being bombarded by Rise of the Beast news. So, Transformers 1 is the title, and I just want to say, I'm not a fan of this title. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that, I don't know, like, I kind of thought it was going to be called something like, I don't know, War Dawn, or, you know, even Transformers Origins, which is kind of generic, will have sounded a little better than Transformers 1. Actually, fun fact, if you go on Twitter and you see people talking about Transformers 1, the Twitter bot actually corrects people and says that, you know, for added context, this is not the first Transformers movie. The first Transformers movie was released in 1986 as a way to combat misinformation, even though, that's not the case, it's just the name of the movie. I thought that was hilarious. But as it stands, it's an okay title. It's fine. Not my favorite, but like, you know, it works, I guess. Now, this whole event feels a lot like the announcement for Transformers Rise of the Beast. I still remember that day when everything just came out and over. We found out a decent chunk of the cast. We got a few descriptions for them and stuff. Well, today we actually got a bunch of that. So in a way, it feels like the reveal, you know? It feels like that day all over again, but for another Transformers movie. So we actually have a decent chunk of the cast reveal. Now, we don't know how big or how small the Transformers 1 cast will be, but honestly, we already have plenty of characters revealed right off the bat, and we also have their voice actors. So first up, we got Optimus Prime. Obviously, he's gonna be voiced by Chris Hemsworth. Honestly, I'm pretty okay with this one. I like Chris Hemsworth. I generally don't like celebrities in general. I think most of them are a-holes, but Chris Hemsworth's a genuinely nice guy, so I like it. Then we have Brian Tyree Henry voicing Megatron. I don't know anything about him. Then we have Scarlett Johansson, aka Black Widow, voicing Elita 1, which I guess it fits Elita's character, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan of her. We got Keegan-Michael Key voicing Bumblebee. I don't have any strong opinions on him either. We have John Hamm voicing Sentinel Prime, who's coming back since his last debut in Dark of the Moon. Let's hope he doesn't end up killing Ironhide this time around. And we have Lauren Fishburne voicing Alpha Trion. So yeah, that's our initial cast. Honestly, I'm kind of hyped that Sentinel Prime's coming back. I know it's a weird thing to say, especially if you're a hardcore Ironhide fan like me. But it's nice to see that they're at least bringing characters from the Bayverse, you know, back into this. My guess is that the story is going to be about Optimus Prime and Megatron's relationship. You know, from what we heard, this story is going to be very Megatron Center and Optimus Prime Center. It's going to be basically the X-Men First Class of the Transformers movies, and honestly I'm pretty hyped for that. And also seeing Alpha Trion here, it's really cool. I got on record to say that for Dark of the Moon, I feel like Sentinel Prime was the equivalent of Alpha Trion, but they just didn't want to use Alpha Trion, so they just made Sentinel Prime. But in here they're making them two distinct entities. That's actually really cool. Now, there has been a bit of controversy, like there always is, but for this one I can kind of understand. If you notice, a lot of the voice cast is big names, Hollywood people, and now look, I don't exactly like Hollywood people. I think they're very, you know, bad people in general. And in my opinion, I kind of just want to see the voice actors that we know and love, like Peter Cullen and, you know, maybe a few people like Frank Walker voicing Megatron and so on. I'm not opposed to new voices. I'm completely fine as long as they can do their job. That was actually my main criticism with some of the Netflix cast. Some of them, like Lita White and Bumblebee, did a good job, and others left a lot to be desired. Most of the Maximals, for example. But I recently watched the Mario movie, and I have to say that Chris Pratt actually did a pretty good job as Mario, surprisingly enough. I'm hoping that despite the questionable choices in voice cast, these guys can deliver. And honestly, these guys have had some pretty major roles as voice actors before. This will be Hemsworth's first time as a voice actor in a movie. He's been Thor in What If and some video games, but this will be his first very, you know, notable movie voice acting role. As of the rest of the cast, Brian Tyree Henry has voiced characters in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and the sequel. Scarlett Johansson has voiced characters in Sing, Sing 2, The Jungle Remake, Isle of Dogs, SpongeBob movie. Keegan-Michael Key has voiced characters in Super Mario Bros., the Chip and Dale movie, the Lego movie, the Lion King remake, Hotel Transylvania, Toy Story 4. John Hamm has voiced characters in Minions, Shrek 4. And Lauren Fishburne has voiced characters in Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Osmosis Jones, that's a classic, and TMNT as a narrator. While some of these resumes are better than others, at the same time, they have quite a bit of experience aside from Chris Hemsworth. So I think they'll do a fun enough job. We'll have to wait and see until we get the first trailer, teaser, or whatever, which it probably won't happen till the end of the year. But overall, you know, I reserve my judgment till we hear them speak. These guys will have to earn their keep. Not only that, we have our first look for Transformers 1. This is actually concept art showing up, you know, one of Cybertron's backgrounds. And honestly, Cybertron looks pretty cool. And it does look very War for Cybertron-esque. Like, the artwork here reminds me of, like, the Cybertronian backgrounds, but while in War for Cybertron it was very, you know, dark, desolate, and, you know, war-torn, in here it looks more vibrant, like, almost like, you know, if someone, you know, grabbed those backgrounds from War for Cybertron and just lit them up, you know, full of life and lights and colors. It feels that way. And I also really do like that this kind of looks like an underworld city. If you look up, you can see like there's upside down buildings. That's really cool. It makes Cybertron feel more distinct and it makes it feel more vibrant. Honestly, I'm all for this. And if you see here, we can see the silhouettes of some of our main characters. One of them is obviously Megatron. This one right next to him is probably Optimus. This one right here is probably RC. And then there's another one here which maybe will be Alpha Trion or someone else, because it's, you know, Lita White and Optimus are pretty big, so if this were to be Bumblebee, it will probably be a little smaller. Now, I've seen some people kind of complain about these designs already, even though we haven't gotten a good look at them just yet. May I remind you, these are silhouettes, and they're concept art, so it's probably not even going to be the final thing for the movie. Just looking at a lot of the old Age of Extinction, Dark of the Moon, and Last Night concept art, when you see some scenes that later made into the movie, like Optimus Prime, you know, charging into the KSI building, you can see that Optimus Prime looks completely different from how he does in the final release of the movie. This is just here to give you an idea of, like, you know, what characters we're gonna be seeing in this scenario, you know, somewhat like that. From what we can see here, at least it looks like they're gonna be keeping in line with the G1, you know, original looks. The Lita one has their iconic, you know, helmet, and Megatron still has the bucket head, so that's really neat. So thing else to notice that this movie is going to be produced by ILM, the studio that worked on all the Transformers movies with the exception of Rise of the Beast. That one's being handled by MPC Studios. Now, because ILM is working on this and they have previous experience with animated flicks in the form of Rango, if we get a movie looking like Rango, a Transformers movie looking like Rango, honestly I'm all for it. I think that could be great. When it comes to visuals, I'm not too worried about this movie. What I'm a bit worried is the director. The director is the director of Toy Story 4, and depending on who you ask, that's a good movie or a bad movie. I haven't watched it, and I really don't plan to, because Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending, and it should have just ended like that. Anything else after that feels like DLC. That's actually why I refuse to watch any Marvel movie post-Endgame. Well, I watch Spider-Man, you know, but that's the only exception I made. Because to me, everything else feels like, you know, DLC. Like, we have a perfect ending, there's no reason to keep going, just reset the universe or do something different. And to me, I kind of hate it when a story goes on endlessly. Once it comes to its natural conclusion, the story kind of just gets ruined. You look at Stranger Things, it's now going and going and going when it should have ended probably season 3 or season 4. But Josh Cooley has a pretty good resume, he seems like a genuinely nice guy, so, you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think he'll do a fine enough job. I'm not too worried about that. And to be frank, between Rise of the Beast and this movie so far, I'm actually a bit more excited for this movie. I had my problems with Rise of the Beast. The second trailer was really exciting and it really, you know, perked me right up. But it still had problems, primarily with the CGI department. Which is kind of funny, because I feel like Rise of the Beast is gonna suffer in the CGI and quality of cinematography and choreography department. And don't get me wrong, while the trailer did showcase some really cool epic scenes like Nightbird and Battle Trap and the whole final fight, you know, where it was one continuous shot going from one place to another, I still think it's gonna suffer in like the visuals department, you know. Some of the action might be good, but the visuals are gonna probably take a hit. For Transformers 1, I feel the opposite. I feel like the visuals will be godly. This is gonna be one of the most beautiful Transformers movies ever put to film. But when it comes to story and voice actors, I'm a bit worried. Well, okay, not so much the voice actors. I think they do a fine enough job, like I said earlier. But the story I'm a bit worried about, because this is a very easy story that could mess up. But for that, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on Transformers 1. How do you feel about the cast? How do you feel about the name? Are you excited for it? Are you not excited for it? And what do you hope to see for it? Frankly, I kinda hope that we see something akin to X-Men First Class, where it's just a young Optimus and a young Megatron becoming friends, and, you know, progressively their friendship getting destroyed throughout the film as they, you know, become the better enemies that they are by the Bay movies and, of course, the reboot universe. I think this has a lot of potential to be a great movie, but we have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoy. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that annoying YouTuber stuff that the algorithm likes. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our super high IQ Patreons: Predator King Hunter Plays, Scrub Lordo, Omega Tryon 2006, Stitch Productions, Xavier the God, Anders Gears, finally he changed his name, Optination Review, James Newbold, DJ Universe, Tristan Curry, Still, Allspark Studio, Super Sailor Formers Hedgehog, Cuber Knight Gaming, and oh my god, Rich Cracker 64 Studios Productions, Crazy Treks, and King Sparta. And an even bigger shout out to our even bigger Patreons, Jordan the Great and X23, who donated a amount of money. I'll leave you guys to figure out how much. And if you guys want to shout out yourselves, all you gotta do is donate to my Patreon. By donating to my Patreon, you get quite a few rewards. You get access to some exclusive artwork that I'm working on, catch some early access at some betas that are not public yet, request your own videos, or even do collabs with me. In some cases, you can even request some artwork if I'm not busy enough. I'm constantly updating the Patreon with content that I haven't made public yet, so if you want more awesome content like Wasted Potential, Power Level series, Still Count series, that kind of stuff, Patreon is the best place to catch a glimpse at my work. But keep in mind that it is entirely optional, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you to all my patrons for donating, it's much appreciated. All of them had channels of their own, Twitter accounts, Discord pages. Make sure to go check out their links and give them some support. They can use all the help they can get. Thank you guys for donating, it's much appreciated. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys.